Hi, Judy Michaud here. In this video, we're going to talk about what's your communication style. We're going to cover what is communication when it comes to learning and being in a classroom and working with teachers. What are the different types of communication styles when you're learning, such as auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. So what is communication? Well, communication is sending and receiving information. Just as every person has their own personality, people communicate with each other in their own way. Not everyone communicates in the same way. Some people learn better when they receive information in one way, and others when they receive it in another. So we're talking about mostly when you're learning something new, as in taking this course, or you might be taking another course in a classroom. When you're learning something new, communication and the way that you learn is important to understand. There's three main ways that people process information when they're learning: auditorially or auditory, visually, visual, or kinesthetically, kinesthetic. Auditory people receive information best when they hear it with their own ears and can repeat it back to someone and hear it again. And they learn better that way. Visual people receive information best when they can see it and review it again by looking at it. Kinesthetic people receive information best when they feel it, they're a part of it, or they can experience it, they can touch it, they can feel it, and they understand how it works. They have to understand, how does this work? Mechanically, putting stuff together, it's hands-on. So example, how would each one of them manage the menus in a restaurant? Auditory. If your communication style is auditory, you're going to want to discuss the menu with others, ask questions to help make your choice. So they're the ones that are kind of going, what are you eating and what do you recommend? Visual learners, they look at the menu really carefully and they select a meal based on what looks good in the menu, and they review the menu over and over again looking at it. Kinesthetic communicators think about what they feel like eating. They think about what they've eaten in the restaurant before, and that's how they decide what they're going to eat. So do you see the difference? The auditory, they discuss, they talk about, they're the ones that are talking. The visual are usually quite quiet because they're reading the menu and they're trying to process that information and figure out what they're going to eat. And the kinesthetic person is thinking about, how do I feel right now and what do I really want to eat? And so they're going inside of themselves thinking about it, and they're thinking about what it felt like when they ate there the last time, if they ate there before. So when you're dealing with the three communication styles, auditory, they speak clearly and use plain language. They like to invite questions and have discussions. You need to be willing to repeat the information back to them if you're communicating with them. They provide reminders verbally. They read instructions and directions aloud. They talk more than most people because that's how they're communicating. Be patient and maintain a calm and even tone when asked to repeat or review information. So when you're dealing with auditory people, these are the things that you need to remember. That's an auditory person, and I'm working on a team with an auditory person, and that's how they're processing the information. I need to do these things to be respectful to them. You want to encourage auditory people to verbalize their understanding of a discussion. Use paraphrasing. That is, like, repeat in your own words the key points another person has made in a discussion. Again, let them talk. You want to change your tone or your voice level to emphasize key points so they get it. You want to try to discuss issues without other auditory distractions. So there can't be like music going on somewhere and you're talking and then a group of people are laughing in another room, because auditory communicators need to have less distractions when it comes to sound. Check that people can hear what is being said. If you're working with an auditory person, make sure. If you're working with visual people on a team that are visual communicators, you want to invite them to take notes or write down directions or instructions. You want to offer to fax, email, mail, or write confirmations of your discussions. You want to invite reading back of messages or directions to them. Discuss ways that they can view your information. In person-to-person discussions, watch for the squint expression, which indicates that the visual person doesn't see the message. They're not getting it. Be willing to draw diagrams or sketches to support your information. You want to make sure you're really supporting that visual person with visual aids that they can see and read. Use underlining, bold, and graphics to draw the attention of the visual communicator. Use color to appeal to the visual people. Encourage them to read written material while you go over it verbally. Ask them to describe their view or perception to you. Ask them if they can see what you're saying. In person, maintain eye contact with them all the time. When you're dealing with a kinesthetic communicator, you want to encourage participation through the process of discussion. If the process is hands-on, encourage them to work as they go. Be prepared for the kinesthetic person to jump ahead or work faster than the steps or instructions outline. They want to get to the work and just start putting their hands on it and get it done. Be willing to answer lots of questions about why and how things work. Listen for questions that show they don't understand what is being said or done. Accept challenges from them such as why not, if I, because they really need to understand it and how it works and get their hands on it before they can really get what they're learning. And that's how you need to communicate to them. Invite questions about the big picture. Describe information based on applications or practical use, like put this together like this and put this together like this. Allow them to describe their own approaches or methods of doing things. Listen carefully when they share ways to improve or enhance applications or situations. Allow kinesthetic people to process information at their own pace. Give examples, stories, situations, and experiences as much as you can, because they need to have that big picture. They need to visualize it, see it, hold on to it, put their hands on it in order to be able to get the work done. So in this video, we covered what is communication overall, and it's the sharing of information from one person to another. What are the different types of communication styles and how people learn and how people process information? And one of them was auditory. What I didn't say was, if you're an auditory communicator, when you're learning, you will learn better if somebody explains it to you, they talk about it, they discuss things, you go over it with them verbally, because you need to have that verbal in order to get the concepts. If your teachers are not giving you enough verbal information and there's not enough discussions going on, you need to ask them to repeat it again. Can you tell me again what it is that you were saying? And don't be shy. Make sure you get the support that you need if you're an auditory communicator. If you're a visual communicator in the classroom, you want to make sure that the teacher is putting things on a flip chart, that they're writing things down, that you have the opportunity to be able to write those notes down, that you have a handout possibly that you can apply to later and look at later. Because with a visual learner, you will go away and you will read everything that was given to you. You will go through your notes. You will review your notes. That's how you're going to learn the best. Visual learners like to see things. They like to be able to see what they're looking at. And kinesthetic. If you're a kinesthetic learner, you need to have the teacher giving you instructions on how do I do it? What do I do? What do you want me to do next? If the teacher's not giving you enough explanation, you need to say, can you show me? Physically show me, or could we get together so that I could see and hold on to get more information about how exactly is this put together? What does that look like? They need to be able to ask a lot of questions. As a learner, you want to ask as many questions as you can. You're the student in the classroom that's going to be asking all kinds of questions because that's how you learn. And a good teacher will just say, and they'll just give you all the information that you need. I hope that helped. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to your handout that was given to you before this video, and I want you to complete the assessment just for yourself, for your own information. It's an assessment which will help you to discover, are you auditory learner, are you a visual learner, or are you a kinesthetic learner? Your next steps will be go complete that assessment and find out, what do you need to improve your communication style. See you in the next video.